Nine, ten, sleep again, sleep again, sleep again.
I just wanna play.
One, two, friends come for you, friends come for you,
I just wanna play.
friends come for you.
I just wanna play.
Welcome to another episode of Snack and Flicks. It's your boy Trey Proper. I got the snacks, Drew's got the flicks. We gonna get right into it. So what y'all eating today? I got some pork rinds.
I got Mike and Ike's.
Y'all not gonna tell us what y'all eating? Yeah. Or do you have snacks?
Do you have any snacks,
already,
Jim?
guys. My bad. I'm hungry.
All right. Well, it's cool.
I had keto cups and some chips, and I ate
That
them.
works. All right. So as you guys can see, we've got some special guests here joining us here on Snack and Flicks. We've got Brian Jones and Jimmy. Sorry if I mess up your last name, Jimmy Weinholtz. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it like 99% of the population, Wienholz, so.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Think of his package every time you pronounce it. You'll be fine.
Okay,
Only
that works.
my package, though. Exclusively my package when you think of it, though.
We've got a whole nother show dedicated to packages, so we're gonna move on from that. But as always, as we do it here, we got a format where we talk. This week we're talking about classic creatures, classic movie creatures, horror specifically. Not my favorite genre. I know I'm going to be the odd man out on this one, so bear with me because in case you guys didn't know, I legit don't like horror. I'm a scared bitch. I'm not even going to fake. I don't like being scared. I don't like jump scares. I don't like monsters, demons, any of that shit. So, but that's Drew's forte. So he wanted to welcome you guys here. But if you could, before we get into our, I'm sorry, I'm still chewing up a pork rind. My bad. If you could introduce yourselves to our audience, and if I think it was Jimmy who's going first, correct?
Sure, yeah. I'm Jimmy Wienholtz. I run the Horrific Network. You can find that on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all across the board. We got a bunch of podcasts, crazy crap on our channel that we do, nerd culture, all that, and predominantly the content of interviews that we bring in are people that my guy down here, Brian, has set us up with because I am the panel director at Sinister Creature Con. So I get to the other side of the screen. I get to talk to all those demons and killers and all that shit that you said you aren't into. So I love that job. But we do, you know, we're filmmakers in our own right, independent filmmakers, and we really just about building the horror community.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. And Brian.
Yeah, I'm Brian Jones, and like Jimmy said, I love working in the horror community. I work with my business partner, and we produce a show in Northern California called Sinister Creature Con since 2014. We also co-produce film festivals like Sacramento Horror Film Festival, as well as short film festivals for the past 19 years under the umbrella of Love Horror Events. I also own and run an agency called Vertical Talent Agency LLC, booking celebrity clients for conventions and festivals. And we just announced, actually about 2 weeks ago, we have a new show coming out called Biohazard Con that's focusing around horror and the gaming industry in particular. So that will be coming later this year. So that's who I am in a nutshell.
All righty. All right. So my little brother's going to look forward to that. They're like sick in the head about like is it Bioshock? No, what's the one where you're in the space station and you're trying to kill shit? I forgot.
Oh,
Dead Space. Yes,
Dead
yes.
Space.
I hate that. I watched them play it, and like I said, admittedly, I'm a terrified little bitch when it comes to stuff like that. So yeah, they like this. They literally will hide behind a door frame. Now, granted, I'm 36. They're like they've been doing it since they were kids. They're like 26 and 23. They will hide behind a door frame and jump out and jump scare me, and I have to like punch them in the face. So yeah, my nerves are not all good. But thank you guys. We do appreciate you joining us here on Snag and Flick. But let's go ahead and get into our show today. We are going to be talking about classic movie creatures as always, and we're going to get into our favorites, our most hated, and a couple of throwbacks. So if you could, I believe Jimmy's going first, and tell us what's your favorite creature.
Favorite creature, I've always had a sympathetic love for Frankenstein's monster, man. Like ever since the original, which I'll say my favorite one that we chose on this one was the original Frankenstein, Boris Karloff as the monster. The thought of reanimating a corpse is terrifying, but Karloff really did a great job in humanizing the scene, you know, before it goes south with the little girl and the flower. I think everybody knows that. It's been done in every iteration. Yeah, the evolution of him through Bride of Frankenstein, like Frankenstein's monster is my favorite monster.
Okay.
very good movie, and the makeup still holds up all these years later.
Yeah.
Fire, It is definitely.
It's even better when he's smoking cigars in Bride of Frankenstein.
I've actually never seen Bride of Frankenstein.
You should watch that
man,
one.
you gotta check it out.
If you've seen Young Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
It's spoofing a lot of that and Bride
Okay.
of Frankenstein.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can, could you describe to us one of your favorite scenes from that movie?
I would say that the top two cinematically are when he reanimates him, you know, the lightning storm, the laboratory, all that. And then the climax of the third act, the windmill. Those two, you know, to watch them again and again whenever I put that movie on, like, doesn't ever really get old. But the favorite scene overall, I do think it really is him with the little girl, because that
Okay.
shows that he is actually, you know, whatever. There's still some of whoever that person was before he was brought back in
Mhm.
there. So that's Karloff really getting to show his range.
Okay. All right. So do you get offended when people call him a big electrical zombie?
No, that's what he is.
Like
But
some
that
people just
big-
literally look at it like that.
But I will say that big electrical zombie is responsible for a lot of the horror movies that we love right now. So I mean, with respect comes the acknowledgement of, yeah, he's a big electrical zombie.
Okay. All right. All right. So moving right along, Brian, go ahead and hit us with your favorite creature.
Yeah, I mean, this one was tough because it's tied for number one. Frank, I have a huge heart for Frankie, so good choice for Jimmy. Dracula is my second go-to. So Dracula is my choice here, especially 1931 Dracula with Bela Lugosi. Anything in movie monsters, basically, in my opinion, they just can't top. I mean, nobody can top it at this point, in my opinion, still to this day. Bela Lugosi is probably my favorite Dracula of all time. So yeah, Bela Lugosi and Dracula would be it.
Okay. All right. So any particular favorite scenes from that original movie?
Yeah, well, in 1931, they were heavily focusing on the film noir genre was really big during that time, and you had to use just practical illusions with just makeup and lighting rather than prosthetics. And prosthetic wise in Dracula wasn't much. It was just some makeup, some really dark hair liner, and some fake teeth. But the use of lighting, so I think, is what really set that movie apart from a lot of the monster movies back in the day, because you had to have that mystery of like the actual shadow piece of him coming and going from a bat to a human before hitting the bed, and that was all done just through lighting work. So I think my favorite part is there's a scene, and I'll talk about it again in my other Dracula pick, but they redo it again later on in my other one. But it's just when they kind of do a pan across the scene, and you can see the shadow of Dracula coming to the lady's bed to finally kind of take her over, so to speak. And that to me was really haunting as a kid, because I watched these when I was a kid. Those were the first things I ever watched. I was like 6 or 7 when I watched Dracula originally. So for me, that just really stood out, and I didn't sleep a lot because of that. So yeah, I would say that stood out for me.
Okay. Yeah, would have scarred me for fucking life. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna say Nosferatu still. My granddad made me watch that. I don't remember the specifics, but that just still I'm literally getting goosebumps right now thinking about it, because that one creeped me.
I literally have that poster on my wall to the right of me.
Like,
Well, it's just iconic, when he pops up. You see him.
Yeah.
That's such an iconic scene. So.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, all right, Drew, you know what to do.
I do. My favorite creature, silver screen at least, is going to have to be Creature from the Black Lagoon. I just
I gotta fuck.
Well,
I gotta fuck
for
with you.
me. Don't get me wrong. I love Frankie. I love Dracula because I mean, again, like Brian said, Bela Lugosi is probably the best Dracula. I think the only person second to him would have to be Gary Oldman, but that's for another time. But Creature from Black Lagoon, when I was a kid watching that, I just remember it freaking me the shit out. It freaked me out a lot when I was a kid. And it's a good movie, and the makeup on that version of the Gillman is probably some of the best. Well, it was a giant suit, and I just know that the guy could only film for I think it was like 10, 15 minutes at a time before he had to literally take the mask off and sit in water because he would overheat from being in that thing. That it was brutal for the guy who was the actor, and it was just the actual cinematography and the effects were really, really well done for me in that film, and I truly appreciated it. And I mean, it spawned it spawned 2 sequels, some better than others not as well as the others. So I'll talk about like Brian, I'll talk about that later. But hands down for me, I even wore the
He's
shirt
been
for it
talking
today.
about the creature for the last 2 weeks.
I
It's
love
like, Joe.
Yeah, I have.
We
I have
understand your love of the creature. So, besides the cinematography,
Besides the cinematography,
what would be your another favorite aspect of favorite scene?
I think my favorite scene in that would probably be when they go into the cave and the creature's actually carrying the girl in the cave in his arms, just walking with the chick in his arms and puts her down. That's probably one of the most iconic shots on that movie, and it's a great scene because and then it gets into the sequel. It gets even more what he was doing it for. So yeah, it's pretty iconic. If everybody knows the scene I'm talking about, I mean maybe not you, Trey,
All
because you probably never seen it, but.
right. Okay.
No, hey, no hate there. I mean, it is what it is. Old movies
Hey,
like
Matt.
black and whites aren't for everybody. They're hard. They're hard to watch for some people, and I get it. My wife can't stand watching them because they're in black and white, and her family forced her to watch them when she was a kid, so
Okay.
she doesn't
All
like
right.
watching them now.
So, quick
For
audible
me.
question for you guys. I'm not sure if they've actually if these movies have been released in color. Have they each been released in color or not at all?
Not Dracula.
No,
Yeah, I've never seen a color version of Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
nope.
Would you be mad if they did transition them to color? Like, do you think it would ruin the nostalgic feeling of the movies or anything like that?
Well,
In some ways, yes, because I mean, if you think about like Adam's Family, there was a photo of the actual room. Everybody thinks it was all dark and grimy, but it was hot pink in real color. So when you
Really?
think about that, kind of ruins it for me. So I think
find
it would
this now.
ruin it in a sense that they had to make color choices to reflect what black and white would look like on screen. And I
Mhm.
think that would ruin it if you switched it over to color because it just wouldn't have the same effect. So for me, that's
Okay.
it. But I'd watch it still just out of curiosity,
Okay. I learned something new today. I never knew that. Checking the comments on Facebook. I think color would take away from the classic feel. Sarah Geary.
Geary. It's
I'm
Geary.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm bad with the names, people. My bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
And
Fine.
Darren Smith, our producer, Vampire. All right, okay, and that's what we got so far. Okay, so I guess it's my turn. I chose the Wolfman. To be honest, again, not a big horror fan or old classic movies, but I kind of did an audible before the show where I changed it up a little bit. I'm more familiar with the newer versions of lycanthropy. Is that the right way to say it?
Like in
Yeah, lycanthrope. There we go. Yes. So my favorite, of course, was going to be Underworld because that actually featured a lot of them. I think that werewolves have pretty much gotten a bad rap in a lot of cinemas over the years. They've been kind of like the vampires as bitches, to say the least. But in this series of movies, it kind of got out there on them. Like you have these big bad vampires who are ripping out throats, whatever. But when the lycanthropes show up, they show out. So one of my favorite scenes is the first movie, the guy with the whips, and he's in the war. I don't know why he thought that silver whips were going to help him in this battle, but they got caught in the rocks and the like and just ate his face. So that was one of my favorites. Yeah, but what do you guys? So another audible question for you guys: if we had a battle royale between the four monsters selected here, who do you think you would win? We're going to go in order. Drew, I'm going to let you go first.
I would probably have to give it to Frankie. Frankenstein would probably win that only because in the cinematic world he already has beaten Dracula, and I'm pretty sure, right? He beat Dracula, didn't he? I'm not wrong here.
I've never seen a outcome of them like having a clear
They never
winner.
really finished the outcome, but I think Frankenstein, just for pure brute strength, I think he would take it.
Okay. All right. Brian?
I think out of the four, I'm gonna have to go with Frank as well. Honestly, I think because Frank kind of has this ability to, I mean, how much can he actually feel? He was pieced together different nerve endings, all that crap. I'm probably going way too into it, but in the end, I think Frank would ultimately probably rip someone's head off by accident and try to throw it in the water to see if it floats. So I will go with Frank 100% on that because you can't really, as Dracula, I mean, you can't really kill him by drinking his blood because he probably doesn't have any.
More than likely. More than likely.
Or
All right.
the Swamp Thing scares the shit out of me, so I would hope that Frank would drown him. So
All right. Jimmy.
It's kind of like a rock paper scissors, man, because Wolf, except for fuck Drew, because creatures got out of it. But
Because I already know the creature's not gonna. The creature.
But-
I mean, if anybody remember, well, it's for another. It's for somebody. I think it's my throwback. When we talk about my throwback, I'll tell you why creature wouldn't have it. Then I'll go with it in there. Go ahead,
but
Jerry.
it's like the intelligence. So Dracula versus Wolfman. Dracula is highly intelligent, so he's gonna find a silver bullet in a gun, shoot Wolfman. Wolfman is that brute force. So unless Dr. Frankenstein is on the bench, Wolfman, especially your underworld Lycan, I just see him running through Frankenstein like Ray Lewis, like just tearing him apart. And then, but with Brian's point, like if Frankenstein can't feel any of that pain anyway, and Doc is on the bench to stitch him back up to go round 2, then it's, I don't know, intelligence factor. I feel like Dracula, especially Gary Oldman Dracula, would kill the Wolfman and then just turn into a bat and get the hell out of there and fight Frankenstein at a later day.
Mhm.
Fair enough.
Yep.
That's good.
All right. All right. I personally, I'm thinking Dracula's going to take it all. I think he's going to take the win. He's too versatile, and I think I personally don't know, but I think he's as strong as Frankenstein or Wolfman. He has the strength factor to match up with them, and he has the intelligence. So that my vote will go for Dracula. And if depending on which one we go for, because I'm partial to the Netflix version of Dracula, so he's got supernatural powers then. So he's calling out lightning and fireballs. Yeah, all you fuckers are dead. It's done. It's a done deal for him. So if we go with that one. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. I just want to throw a little contention in there for you guys, kind of spice it up a little bit. But speaking of contention, let's go ahead and move on to our most hated versions of these creatures in these universes. If you would go first, Brian, regale us with the tale.
All right, it pains me to say this because the person who directed this is my all-time favorite director ever, which was Wes Craven. But Vampire in Brooklyn, probably the worst Dracula movie I've ever watched in my life. I don't care. I love Eddie Murphy. I love Charlie Murphy more than I love Eddie Murphy. They can't write a vampire movie to save their lives, and that movie should have never been made. And I'm not sure if Wes Craven just needed some extra cash, because why the hell would you put that on your resume? If it was a free movie on like ABC, I would be pissed and try to cancel my free ABC subscription. Yeah, that's how much I hate that movie.
I love Vampire in Brooklyn. I was
Yeah.
a kid watching. I had no business watching it, but it was hilarious. But wait, was he Dracula in that?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy was Dracula, and he was out to find like a half vampire, half woman, played by
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. Yeah, that's right.
And she was about the only good thing in that
she's-
movie was
She's
Angela.
still a good thing.
She looked good in that movie.
What? This is my stomach. This is my heart. This is my like. It was dumb. It was a dumb movie, yes. But Eddie made dumb movies.
But part of me wants to know if Eddie really thought that he was being serious, because I don't know, man. Like I question if this was written in their perspective as a serious film or as a comedy.
Mhm.
Because I think he could pull off a serious film if he really wanted to. But if this was his attempt, I don't see that playing well.
I don't think I could ever
I
see
think
Eddie
so.
playing a serious role. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like what Brian said. I agree with what Brian said. I think Wes Craven wrote this as a serious vampire
I think so.
film, and then it just turned into a comedy.
To be
Because
fair,
Eddie Murphy
I mean, he only directed it. There was no writer. Wes Craven didn't write this movie. It was all
No, I understand.
Eddie, Charlie, and some other random people that I don't know about. But yeah, maybe I need to rewatch it now that I haven't watched it in 20 plus years. But it's still in my head. That's how I don't know, give or take here. I mean, good or bad, it's still stuck in my head. So maybe they succeeded in that since it came out in 1995. So
Can I throw an
All
audible?
I can say is
Sure.
Can I
it doesn't get any better with age. I'm just going to
What's
say
that?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jimmy. What's your audible?
My audible question is, what if they redid it Nutty Professor style and Eddie Murphy is playing all the characters?
Dear
100% in. As long as
I'm in.
he's Angela Bassett, that's all I care.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm in. Somebody
I'll
write
sign on in
that
a heartbeat.
and send it to Eddie. He needs it. So yeah, because
And
coming to
I
America
love
too.
Eddie Murphy. Like, I love his films. I enjoyed the crap out of that dude. He's probably one of the most talented comedians, and I still think he's got it. I mean, watching him come back on Saturday Night Live was just like insanely impressive to see him come out, do Gumby all over again, like he never missed a beat. And that takes a lot to be able to do that. I mean, the guy's an OG of the comedian scene. Raw still. I mean, I should no business watching Raw when I was a kid and quoting it and getting in trouble and having to go to the principal's office. But regardless, it still like impacted me. But god dang, Eddie, why Vampire in Brooklyn? Like, you're killing me, bro. So that's my least favorite vampire.
Gotcha.
Isn't he going back to stand up?
He's apparently supposed to be starting to tour again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started a tour for stand up again.
And to be real, you
I
always
don't know.
thought,
His movies as of late haven't been
always
good.
thought his brother was actually more talented, to be honest. So I thought Charlie was phenomenal. So
Charlie was
Absolutely.
hilarious.
Yes, absolutely.
I had an opportunity to see Charlie Murphy do stand up, and I just couldn't make the one, the funds, and two, the time
Mhm.
work. So I really kicking myself in the ass because obviously he passed away, and they lost a legend when he passed away. I mean, he was a legend, and is like just him on the
Yes,
Chappelle
absolutely.
show was
Absolutely.
classic.
Checking out the comments on Facebook real quick. Let's see. Sarah's saying again, agree, Dracula for the win. Yes. And that's what we got so far. So if you guys are there watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we get some more people to join the conversation. All right, moving on down the list. Let's see. Looking at my paperwork. My bad. Jimmy, we're gonna let the guests go first, of course.
Let me take you on a little bit of a throwback so you can get into my mindset as to why I fucking hate this movie so much.
Okay.
16-year-old me sees a trailer for a film starring Hugh Jackman. That's fucking Wolverine at the time. That's fucking dope. I'm already in. He's Van Helsing. Automatically rewind to my father showing me all these films throughout my entire life. He's fucking Van Helsing? Oh shit. Second trailer comes out, promotional material, whatever the fuck. But it gets leaked that all the monsters are going to be in this movie. He's not just hunting Dracula, but there's going to be werewolves. There's going to be Frankenstein. There's going to be everything except the fucking creature from the Black Lagoon. And what happens is you talk about Wes Craven on the set of Vampire in Brooklyn. Like, I would love to sit the entire Van Helsing cast down and just say, what happened? Because everybody looks dope. The costumes look dope. Frankenstein, I can even get past Frankenstein's stupid little gyroscope in the back of his head to symbolize that his brain, the electricity in his brain was going. Sure, whatever. But this movie as a whole was the expectation of fucking like 35 out of 10 and a delivery of a negative 5 out of 10. Like, some of the dialogue and some of the like just the decision makings on let's have them do this and let's have them do that. And of course he can beat the shit out of Mr. Hyde because he's Hugh Jackman. Like, okay, bro. So then we're going to throw in the fact that you're going to put Frankenstein, I mean, obviously how we all feel, top tier Universal horror monster character, and you're going to make him dumb as hell, like dumber than dumb. And B, just like in the movie for like a total of 12, 15 minutes. GTFO, dog. Like, don't put him in the movie if you're gonna do that to him.
I understand, and it kind of goes hand in hand because that was my most hated as well, for the fact that they made Van Helsing a werewolf, and I don't really like how they see. I like the visual representation, the VFX, effects of having a wolfman with the fur and the claws and everything, and actually being a person and not just some, some animatronic. Well, animatronic is okay in some cases, but I don't like the CGI version of it. So
Right.
that was also my most hated because of that reason. In that scene where he's fighting Dracula, and it's just like, I don't know if I didn't see the originals, but in the originals, Wolfman, when the moon got overcast, did he change back and then change back? Was that something that happened?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That
So it
does
was a
happen.
little bit of
I
canonical there.
don't know. For me, with Wolfman in Van Helsing, it was like when Hugh Jackman turned into him, and then he fucking sharpens his claws on the goddamn. I'm like, why? Why do you need to do it? You've already got claws. You know they're already sharp.
I'm
Why?
missing. It's just get the fuck out of here. So yeah. All right. Okay. Now let's go move on down the line. It got me out the way as well. So Drew.
As much as I love the creature from the Black Lagoon, my most hated movie, The Creature Walks Among Us. Just why?
Yeah.
They literally, okay, in the beginning of the film, they literally light the creature on fire. Then they put him in a body cast for like 40 minutes of the film. Then he looks like a really screwed up version of a dude that had really bad plastic surgery. Because like he basically has no skin, nothing, and he just looks. It's the worst version of the Gillman ever in history of the Gillman. It was terrible, just terrible. I think he was terrorizing San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. But like he just walking in a body cast looks like a goddamn linebacker from football. It was ridiculous. Like it was like the worst iteration of the creature from the Black Lagoon I've ever seen in my life. They're laughing.
I'm
because
looking
they
at
know
the-
exactly what I'm
It's like,
talking
what
about.
the
I
is
know
that?
you are.
Why?
Yeah, there you go. Terrible.
Was
Terrible.
like budgeted? Was it because of the suit was being so hot they put him in a bodysuit instead? Was that the reason why? Like
No, the reason he looked like that was because at the beginning of the
they
film,
set him on fire.
he literally they set him on fire, and then that is what the fire produced. Why?
But he looked swole. Like, did the fire give him
Yeah.
muscles? Like,
I guess it did.
alrighty.
Hey Brian, that's how big I want you to get. You got to get swole like that.
I will start drinking the juice, and I will see what happens.
Gotta get on the gas, brother. You gotta
Gotta
get
get
on the gas, brother.
My heart dogs.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Oh, hey, reading the comments for the Van Helsing film, Jamaica come out and said some of the actors in that movie sounded like they were choking on their fake accents. And then my friend of mine, Sarah Geary, generic brand of Creatures from the Black Lagoon. You are absolutely right. That is exactly what that was. Hey, wait, it's like you go on Wish and you order a Creature from the Black
that's the
Lagoon
creature from-
statue,
from
and then
Costco,
that's what you get. The Creature from the Black Lagoon Wish edition. That's what that was.
So another audible question for you gentlemen, because earlier I did mention I kind of love hate with CGI. In your opinions, let's go around the panel. I want to ask you, what would you prefer if you were to direct a monster movie in the future? What would you prefer to use, CGI or visual effects?
Practical.
Who wants to take
Practical
it?
effects.
Me?
Sorry. Yeah, sure.
Practical, 100% practical. I do feel there's a place for CGI, and I think if it's used correctly alongside practical, hence The Walking Dead is a good example, you could be able to marry the two. But for me, I mean, I've grown up on practical effects, and if I want to make a monster movie, I want the challenge, because I think it's a lot more challenging to do that rather than pay somebody to create a monster in the corner. So for me, practical effects. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely
Jimmy?
definitely practical effects. Drew is in a little short right now that we just filmed, and to the point of finishing film school and stuff, I know little digital effects. And when we were on set, it was literally, should we set this up for practical? Because we could set it up for digital. And every time I was like, no, like if we can have it here on set in front of people, it should be here, especially in horror movies, because and Brian, obviously being the co-producer of Sinister Creature Con, knows the vast amount of talent that they have brought to meet the fans in the special effects, makeup design, and application department. Like seeing that done like firsthand, 10 feet away from you when they're doing demonstrations or getting to talk to some of those people, like their knowledge of what is scary, I honestly think surpasses the knowledge of what is scary for someone to do VFX. VFX are great for set design, like if you're in a forest and you have some like trees and shit, but you want to bring in a green screen so you can impose like hills and moonlight and shit in the distance. Like that's fine, but like a monster, if you're gonna do like a close up on a monster or a bad guy or whatever, you can't beat practical effects makeup.
Facts. I gotta agree there. All right, Drew.
You're not going to get any complaints out of me when you talk practical effects. I mean, I'm not just talking classic horror film. I mean, you can talk Jaws, Sharknado, anything like that. Jaws is much scarier to me than Sharknado ever could be, because the practical effects in Jaws are much more believable than CGI of a fucking tornado of sharks. So
What about the
practical
Sharknado
effects
movies on
are
Netflix?
always the way to go.
I'm just like it breaks the laws of fucking physics. So it's like, what?
But my thing is in a movie, whenever there is an ability to use practical effects, you should pretty much 100% use practical effects. I mean, there's a time and place for CGI and digital visual effects, but most of the time I'm with these guys, and I would prefer if I was making a movie, try and use as much practical effects as I could.
That settles it. I'm on the of course I'm not really, like I said earlier, not really a huge fan of horror. I will watch them, especially when friends like that were gonna make me watch them. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather see the scariest things that I've seen have always been practical. Hellraiser, Freddy Krueger, of course, fucking scarred me for life. And, Jason, a big hulking fucker with the machete chasing me down. Yes, don't CGI shit. Make it real. Make it, the Alien movies kind of fucked me up too, but they were practical in the beginning. So never mind. Yeah, let's take it back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
those are all puppeteers.
Yeah. Yeah. So would animatronics be considered practical as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They're live on set with the actor. It's practical.
Yeah. All right. I'm learning. I'm learning a lot here today.
You're fine. You're fine.
Checking out the comments on Facebook. Jamaica, he stole Michael Myers' wardrobe. Before Mike knew he wanted to go with mechanics overalls. Sharknado. Are you referring to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? Wait. There's more than one of those fucking movies?
Yo, it evolved. That franchise. I don't even know if I've seen the first one. I just saw a middle one because Chris Jericho was in it on Sci-Fi. And there's a scene where Jericho gets on Rip Ride Rocket at Universal Orlando, and the sharks from the Sharknado, like, how can you say Sharknado without smiling? Sharknado hits the theme park, and one of the sharks lands on the track and eats Jericho as the roller.
Dear God. But what? The only thing I've seen of that is a guy jumping into its mouth with a chainsaw and cutting his way out. That's the only thing. I've only seen that one clip. I refuse to watch that shit. I'm not even gonna waste my time. That was on Sci-Fi Channel. Like, come on now. Okay. All right. We've talked it. Wow, Trey. I need a shot. We've talked about our favorites and we've talked about our hated. So let's get into some throwbacks. Let's talk about some old stuff, and I'll go first. My throwback is, of course, Teen Wolf, starring none other than Michael J. Fox. This is one of those movies I watched as a little kid. I didn't really understand what the hell was going on. I was like, oh, he's furry. Hey, granddad, look, he's furry. Shut up and watch the movie, boy. But yeah, it was funny. He was playing basketball, slam dunking, and it was creepy. It wasn't scary, of course. It was funny. He had great moments. But him playing basketball and being able to jump over the top of everybody was one of my favorite aspects of it. Him dancing. I wanted to go for him as Halloween, but it didn't work out clearly because we could not get a good mask for me as my 7-year-old size. But yeah, I know you guys have all seen it. I know you guys know all about it.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I love about Teen Wolf, it made the werewolf cool. It was cool. Like, man, he had his Letterman jacket. He was surfing on top of a van. Come on, like, he was still getting the ladies. It was awesome. Like, I was like, how do I grow that hair? I mean, I accomplished it at 43, but I wanted to do it at like 16. So
Yes.
yeah, that's a phenomenal film, and it just still to this day. What I like about movies like that is just cross generational.
Yes.
There's so many kids now discovering it, and I think that's super cool. So yeah, good
Are they
choice, man.
discovering it, or are they discovering the MTV show?
If their parents are doing it right, they're discovering it.
Fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, please, God. Anybody out there watching, please do not watch the MTV version of Teen Wolf. It is not the same. It is
Yeah,
not. That is my PSA for
that
you.
actually.
Please.
My wife and I think all the
Do they
kids
like
watch
it?
Yeah, they liked it, but they've seen the original. They love the original, so
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
You know what I
Look,
mean.
Look, I'll be the first one to say I'm the first one to always go see a reboot movie. I'm always on board for reboots. I'm on board for any type of reimagination as long as it keeps me entertained. But the original always has a place in my heart. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So just entertain me. That's all I ask. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, you on that.
All right, Drew, throw it back for us.
All right. My throwback might even spawn another episode because we might have a question. We might have concerns and questions over this. But my throwback, none other than The Monster Squad. I grew up on The Monster Squad. Great film. And I picked it because it's the only other cool representation where the Gill Man actually looked good, even though he got blasted in the face with a shotgun
Usually how
once
things
and
die,
died
Drew.
instantly. Yeah.
Poor dude looked like he was
But,
struggling to breathe for
you
real.
know, yeah. But he looked, you have to admit, like,
He looks great.
from the original creature to he looks amazing in that film. And it was a cool film because, I mean, technically anybody in here could have thrown that up there because it actually has pretty much every Universal movie monster in that iteration of it. And I mean, the Mummy looked good. I particularly liked the way the Wolfman looked in this. He looked decent, and the transformations were were really good in this. And it's just a fun movie. And while I was telling Trey about it, I was searching the internet and something came up and it goes 8 reasons why Monster Squad is better than the Goonies. I don't know if I can classify it as being better than the Goonies because the Goonies is the Goonies, and the Monster Squad is the Monster Squad. So, I mean, maybe we'll have a debate about it another time. I don't know. How do you guys feel? Do you guys feel that the Goonies is better than
I
Monster
gotta
Squad?
go
or
with
do
the
you feel the
Goonies.
Monster
I
Squad is better
gotta
than
go with the
Goonies?
Goonies. All truffle shuffle. Hey, you got like it's such a fucking quotable movie. I love it to this day. You know what? I don't think I've shown my son this. Oh my god, I'm failing. I'll be right. No, I'm just playing. I haven't shown Little Trey that movie. We're gonna watch that this weekend. Watch. Okay, but yeah, I'm Goonies all day. We can have that debate. We can definitely have that debate.
Yeah, we'll have that debate another time. But I mean, what do you guys think, Jimmy, Brian?
Good, Jimmy.
That's a tough one because that factor of the like Trey just said, the whole remembering the scenes and the quotability of Goonies far outweighs Monster Squad. I don't know if I could quote Monster Squad, but I mean, being more on the horror side. I'm sorry.
There's only one quote that we do for Monster Squad.
And I know it. I know exactly which one he's talking about.
Wolfman's got nards.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all you can quote on that. So you're right, Jimmy. Yeah.
But the horror side, man, like Drew pointed out, like they're all there. Fish, Gilman, Creature from Black Lagoon. Every time I watch it, I think to myself, take that fucking mask off of him and cut the camera. Because when they trudge up the coffin out of the lagoon, that poor dude is literally, and I'm sure like they're like, he's hulking up. But that guy looks like he's suffocating. Because you go back and you watch that scene, Creature from Black Lagoon is like, as Wolfman is howling. Like, I love that suit. That's an awesome representation of Creature from Black Lagoon, second to the Universal original. But as far as the debate goes, man, I'll pick Monster Squad just on the basis of they're the monsters.
I like it.
Yeah, I'll roll with that too. Actually, I love Monster Squad. To me, it had it was like there's a weird balance of campiness, but then it still has some really good horror to it. Being considered a children's film, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, I remember like certain parts of it that was kind of terrifying, and there was also just the content in it. Talking about trying to save the virgin, and you got to do this because you're I was like, fuck, I didn't even know what a virgin was when I watched that movie. I was like, what the hell are they talking about? So to me, I think it Goonies is cool. I think Goonies is nostalgic more than Monster Squad. In a sense of the way it was filmed, there's definitely a nostalgic feel to it and a great cast. Yeah, I think for debate reasons, I'll go with Monster Squad.
Okay, fair enough.
That's good. That's the audible I had. That's my audible.
Good job. All right, Jimmy, hit us with your throwback.
My throwback is along the lines of like campy good times, but still has a really dope, creepy set design, and it's Young Frankenstein, man. Gene Wilder. I love this film. This is a yearly watch, Halloween time, like Frankenstein freaking putting it on the Ritz, like.
Oh yeah.
From start to finish, that movie is freaking Mel Brooks at his just like 10 out of 10 all the way.
Love that man. I would kiss that man on the face. I'm dead ass serious. He is a fucking genius. But yeah, my AP psychology teacher actually introduced me to this in the 10th grade because he was just like it was the end of the school year. And we were a good class. He was like, fuck it. He cursed and everything. Fuck it. We ain't got nothing to do here today. So I'm going to show you guys a good film. And he put that shit in. It was like, and of course, we only had one period with him. We couldn't finish. It was like, where the fuck do we find the rest of this movie? Give it to me now. So I love it as well. Any other thoughts on Young Frankenstein from you gentlemen?
For me, Young Frankenstein, classic. Just scenes with Gene Wilder. And I'll even throw an audible question. Why in Young Frankenstein, whenever they mentioned the name Frau Blucher, why did the horse always scream?
She's an evil bitch.
Nope. An actual meaning behind her name. Her name actually means glue. So
very well played.
There's that. But I mean, you got to go at like the classic scenes with Gene Wilder when I don't know if anybody can quote this, but I know I can. When they put him in the room, and he's like, before he goes in the room, he's like, no matter what I do or what I say, don't open this door. Shuts the door, goes in. Frankenstein goes out. Open this door, you son of a bitch! I was just joking. Hurry! like just. The comedic timing for Gene Wilder in all of his roles is perfect, but like he was just so perfect in this film. And there's just so many iconic scenes. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was just gonna latch on to your point there. The way that he is able to bring his voice up and do this and just like emphasize that, like, open this door right now, like it just adds to the comedy of it, man. It's gold.
And then who remembers Gene Hackman being in this film?
Oh.
Because he was the blind
Yep.
monk who lit
Yeah.
Peter Boyle's finger on fire. Oh yeah, go back and
Wow.
watch it. You'll see.
Okay, I
young
got it.
Gene
Yeah, I'm
Hackman.
gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah, it's a great film. It's just so quotable.
Yeah, and I think Jimmy,
Okay.
you nailed it. I mean, I think Brooks like was at his pinnacle of perfection at that time. And yeah, I love that movie. Especially, I'm always a huge fan of Igor in that movie with the hump changing. And he not knowing he had one, he's like, "I can fix that for you." He's like, "What are you talking about?" You know, I thought that was just like comedic hilariousness, and the timing, and yeah, it's just a perfect film from start to finish. And you don't get that today. But you know,
Yeah.
Mel Brooks, I mean, the guy's a freaking genius. He really is. Absolutely. I would have no problem sharing his mouth with you, because I would kiss him too, 100%.
Hey, I'm glad he's still alive. I'm glad he's still here.
Absolutely.
Hey Brian, would you almost say this film is Abby
You
normal?
put a 42 wide. Oh my
There's
god.
so many good quotes.
All right. Lastly, Brian, regale us with a throwback if you will.
You know, my throwback is Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's absolutely, to this day, my favorite film. Before we started, I showed you guys, you know, my laser disc. I love that movie.
Go ahead,
so
show the
much.
audience. Go ahead, show it to them. Show off your shit. It's okay.
You want to-
Drew does it all the time.
Does he?
I do.
I mean,
He really
I
does.
do.
so much. Come on.
I was almost gonna bring my whole classic.
Hey,
Jesus,
that's
laser disc.
And yeah, it says it was $1.95. I paid 25 cents. Just saying. But
Hey,
it's just,
It's
you know, it's just one of those like Gary Oldman perfect in it. And it still kept to, they tried to, you know, keep that old school original feel to it, with the practical effects. Grant Cannon, I mean, he wanted, Grant Cannon was, first of all, one of the best makeup effects artists to this day. And he won one of his 4 Oscars for that recently. His last Oscar, he just won for makeup effects for Vice. So, I mean, the guy's still doing it today in his 70s. You can't do makeup the way this man does. I mean, he did anywhere from Lost Boys to other Oscar was Benjamin Button for the makeup effects, transition makeup effects of that movie. I mean, he went all in on this movie. Watching that effects of Dracula being created, I mean, it was so dark and scary looking and just gross, you know, like his skin really looked pale, you know, looked like he had no blood in him. And I love that about it. And then they also did the same. They paid a lot of homage to the original Dracula. Like I said, they did the effects of the shadow across the wall. They did that, and that's my other example of using CG properly. I mean, they were able to do that through CG and still make it look more practical. So, yeah, that movie from start to finish was fantastic. You know, Keanu Reeves, come on, you know, but Winona Ryder's in it as well. She wasn't stealing yet, so awesome for her. And
Anthony Hopkins.
just a great overall
Anthony
movie,
Hopkins.
and to this day, I can just sit back and watch it, enjoy the hell out of it. So yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah, no, that.
good.
Go ahead.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead,
say
Brad.
it was another one of those movies I should not have been watching as a child.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I was captivated. I was like, this is so beautiful and terrifying and scary. And why is that chick, the bottom half of that chick? I don't understand it. I don't know what boobies are yet. It's 1992. I was born in 85. I had no idea what the hell was going on, but I love that movie. And that was one of those DVDs I had the moment I had money to buy stuff. That was one of the first DVDs that I bought. And I could watch, like you said, it's one of those daily, I could watch that every day. That's one of those movies I can go back to over and over again. And yeah, Gary Oldman's performance was powerful. It's just, what's the line? What's the fucking line? I've crossed oceans of time. Like that shit.
Yeah.
I wish I came up with. Do you know how much pussy I would get if I came up with that line? That was an amazing line. I don't know who wrote it, but it was amazing. I love that movie. Go ahead, Drew.
It's, I mean, it's a
Oh,
classic, man. And what I love about it is the practical effects in it. I mean, I think that's what sells the movie for me, and that they really still push that. And yeah, going off of earlier, practical effects any day of the week. Grant Cannon is a freaking genius for that movie. So kudos to
Oh,
him.
yeah.
But go ahead.
yeah, I have to agree with Brian. Like watching that movie as a kid was just so it, in like not to steal your words, but it was captivating. It was intense. It was like it had the whole. I mean, you could almost say it was a romance slash horror film because that's pretty much what it was, and it had everything that was, involved in what you needed. It had a great love story. It had a great horror aspect to it. And to bring it all together in the final product, it was just mind blowing because it was visually, it was visually attractive. It was, I mean, some of the actors like Keanu Reeves, it wasn't his peak acting, but that was when he was starting to get
What are you
well
talking about? Bill
known.
and Ted? He was well known.
But
I'm just joking.
I mean, more serious
Yeah.
roles, and I don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I dislike the film because I love the film. I bought the film probably 4 different times. I know I
Oh.
bought it on VHS, DVD, Super Bit, freaking Super 8-bit, and everything else. And I think I have it on 4K as we speak downstairs. And it's just one of those movies. I mean, they pretty much had the whole story arc of going back to him basically being Vlad the Impaler. And you know what I mean? In the dragon armor, it was pretty much a homage to that, which was it was a really good movie. If you've never seen it,
Who has
you
not?
should check it out. Really good movie. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
No,
What
I
about
was
anything, Jimmy?
I was agreeing with the that movie is a perfect Dracula movie. It really is.
I do have a question though. So you know the scene where he's traveling back in the coffin full of dirt that's from his homeland to get his powers back. Why wouldn't you just send for more dirt? Like I don't understand why you have to go back. Just send Ramfield to or whoever to go dig up some dirt, put it in the bucket, bring it back to where you at so you get some more power. That doesn't make sense to me. Like
That's just
why?
way less dramatic.
Like just the whole chase would have been solved with fucking UPS or FedEx. That would have fixed it all if you just fill out a form to get some more damn dirt. But
And
yeah,
we
so
won't have the movie.
yes,
Yeah, it's true.
facts. Checking out the comments last time. Keanu Reeves saying his lines. Oh God, ... Yes, the movie was visually stunning. The way a lot of colors were so saturated, it was satisfying. Yes.
Yeah.
The scene in the graveyard scene with her friend, I forgot her name, where he was boning her as the wolf man, as a wolf. That again should not. I think I was with my mom when I first saw this, and she hit the whole, oh my God, and I was like, no, I want to see what's going on. Stop it. So yeah, it's burned into my retina. Any honorable mention movies you guys wanted to bring up that you didn't get a chance to here today?
It's not a Frankenstein movie, but I really actually enjoyed the rehash of Wolfman with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio del Toro. I thought that movie uh, is very underappreciated because that again, for the CGI that they have in that movie is used well, and I thought that Benicio and Anthony Hopkins are pretty freaking awesome in that film.
Okay. I saw that one. I haven't seen that movie, but I saw that and I realized, okay, I need to check that one out because it's a little bit more recent. I need to give that one a chance because it'll probably does it follow the same story as the original Wolfman?
I mean, he's Lawrence
More or
Talbot in it, and so he's still that principal character. There's subtle differences, but main core is still there.
Okay. All right.
He's returning home So there's like that angle, like where did you go? Why did you leave? And his relationship with Anthony Hawkins. And so there's that is different, but it's not like they just butchered it and did their own thing and called it the Wolfman at all.
Okay. All right. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. Anything else?
Brian, anything from you?
Yeah, honestly, one that I actually debated to put in my original as a throwback, but if you guys haven't seen it, it is a comedy starring Jim Carrey from 1985 called Once Bitten.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of my favorite films of all time. So
Watch that on Saturday or on Friday.
it's hilariously great before he became huge star, obviously. And I'm not sure if it was during the time of like he already has some kind of stardom with In Living Color. I'm not sure when those two coincided. I don't know if Once Bitten was before that or not. But yeah, I love that movie. It's so funny and it's just one of the better, Dracula films, I guess you could say. So
I need to rewatch that. I remember the scene where him and his girlfriend finally got in the coffin, and the vampire lady's like, "Wait, did you do it?
yeah,
That was quick."
yeah,
Like you couldn't have had sex that quickly.
Yeah, we did.
Yes,
Yes,
you
we
can.
you
did.
could tell he was only voted for that because of his ability to, manipulate his facial expressions. Like that's
Absolutely.
pretty much the entire movie is him making silly faces. But I don't know, it's super fun. So
And just to let you know, that is free on Amazon Prime right now.
well, I guess
Watch it.
There you go.
It's on my list.
I do have an honorable mention, and it's not like a throwback, it's more recent, and I might get chastised by my friends in here by it, but I don't know if they liked it or not. But Luke Evans as Dracula in Dracula Untold, I thought that was a decent Dracula film. Just because it was more of a Castlevania film called Dracula, but it was a good representation, in my opinion, of a decent, like that one. They kind of got the CGI right, and it was decent. I don't know. I had to see it twice. I had to see it twice in the theater because one time there was a whole incident in the theater when we were there. So yeah, that one. It was like that one and the Wolfman. I could not just go in and have a good time to see it. No, I had to have problems. So yeah, it was a fun movie though. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy it?
It was
or no?
okay. It was just I think they were just overdoing it with the bats. It was like everything bat this, bat that, like the whole swarm bats storm that came through, and the fight scenes were a little. I don't like. Granted, I'm a huge Marvel fan, but I hate the jump cut fight scenes where just cut fight cut fight cut. Like I want to see an actual battle. I grew up with kung fu movies, so give me a real fight. Don't pussy it out. But it was okay. It was all right.
If you look at it like you just said, Drew, like a Castlevania film instead of a Dracula film, it's instantly way better. But
Because it's basically, what was the one most like the Lord of Shadow? It's basically Castlevania Lords of Shadow. That's basically what it is. Go ahead, Jimmy. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just gonna say the whole dark universe that Universal had said that they were gonna roll out with Dracula Untold, Tom Cruise's Mummy down the line. I hope that they don't ditch it because of Tom Cruise's Mummy movie. I hope that they go back.
Exactly what they did.
Splitting iris bullshit like it.
Yes, Drew. I don't know if you've heard the rumors for your Boo, your creature from the Black Lagoon. Have you heard the rumors?
I actually heard, and let me see if my rumor matches your rumor, but I heard that in 2020 they were talking about rebooting it with Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
That's the latest I've heard. What about you? Yeah.
I
am actually all for that.
No, I heard that I hadn't heard the Chris Evans. I had heard the ScarJo that she was going to be the lead. So that is exciting if that actually happens.
I would be totally on board for that because I just I just want to see him make a good Gilman suit. Just don't do
You know they're
CGI. Do
going to.
practical, please.
You know they're going
Please do
to.
practical.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
practical. They've done practical before.
I
Why
mean,
fuck it up and go
At
CGI
least,
now?
at least you still have the shape.
Practical
What is it? The Shape of
good,
Water.
dude.
You still got that.
Yeah.
Just
Not a
saying.
bad movie. That's a good. I didn't.
That-
need to-
that's-
Bucket of fish, man.
yeah, I didn't need to watch her masturbate in a bathtub like every 30 seconds for the first 3 minutes, and/or know that creature could bang. But overall, that was a solid film.
That was what he got his. Guillermo del Toro took
He got his
a
Oscar.
lot of the aspects of.
Mhm.
Yeah, he got his Oscar for that. That is
Yep.
true. What about you, Brian?
On
Anything
Dracula
from you?
Untold, never watched it.
Never watched it,
Nope.
huh? Mm.
That was
Okay.
never on my to-do list. Saw the trailer. I think I fell asleep on the trailer. Decided not to go through it. So
Brian, did you watch? Did you watch any of the little rehashes that they're doing? Did you see The Mummy or Invisible Man? Have you seen any of those?
I saw The Invisible Man.
Did you like it?
I did just because I'm a huge fan of the writer and director of that in the Saw franchise.
Mhm.
So yeah, I like his work, and I thought he did a pretty interesting take on it. I do like her a lot, though. That was the main thing. I can't think of her name.
Yeah.
Main actress. She's a phenomenal actress. So I thought it was good, but to be honest with you, I really struggle with. I struggle with films that have women being tortured mentally or physically throughout.
Mhm.
That's just another
Yeah.
film like that. Even though they kind of did a nice little twist with, I'm not going to say what happened, but they did a nice little twist to it. It was a little bit different, but still, I struggle with that. That's why I don't watch any of the revenge rape films or anything like that. I'm not into that
Mhm.
stuff. So to me, that kind of the mental stuff on that was kind of hard to watch at times, but that was good. I did not watch. I'm not going to watch The Mummy even to this day. I
Don't
refuse.
watch it.
No.
Don't.
Yeah, I'm
Don't.
good.
Please, God. Save
Yeah,
yourself, Brian. Save yourself.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, he's crazy. I'm good. I don't want to watch that. So yeah, I mean, it's hard for me because I really don't feel, honestly. I mean, I don't know what you guys feel about this, but I do feel if you want to see what a movie's like, just watch the trailer because they tell you everything now in the trailer. So you know exactly what you're going to get, beginning, middle, and end. You watch the whole entire movie in one trailer now. They don't leave anything out. So none of it ever really appealed to me, I guess. So.
Yeah, no, the mummy ruined the Dark Universe. That's all I'm gonna say. It was because they billed the chick as being the mummy, and then that was not what they
No.
did at all. And Tom Cruise basically forced his way into the role, and everybody was like, "Okay, why, Tom? Why did you ruin the goddamn film?"
That
Tom
movie
Cruise
is
ruined
why
that film
everybody
for
picked- That movie's why
everybody.
everybody chose practical effects over CGI.
Exactly. I still think the Brendan Fraser mummies are better than that mummy.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Because they're fucking hilarious. Like what's the guy who was in Spartacus who was the main, not the main guy, but the main Dominus. Got his fucking name. Shit. He's hilarious in that fucking movie. Checking out the comments on Facebook. Shape of War. She's laughing at that. Slither. Never watched it.
Eeh.
Never watched Slither.
Yeah, that one's rough.
Is that the one where they had the
Slither.
slugs that were climbing into people's bodies?
Yeah,
Okay.
that one's kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie. That
I'm
one,
good.
kinda rough.
How do you kill them? Like I don't want. No, I'm good.
Talk
It's
about
all-
imagery. You talk about imagery that'll always stay in your brain. The scene of the chick when she has like a million of them in her and she's blown up like Willy
Yes.
Wonka.
Yes.
Something's wrong with me. Fuck that scene. That was gross.
Darren in the comments, we aren't going to mention The Rock and
No.
the Mummy too. I
No.
think we should not mention The
Stop it.
Rock because
Just-
that was terrible CGI.
Scorpion King, baby.
Don't bring that.
Just like so why? Nope, because I'm about to go on a fucking rant. I don't want to do it. We're having fun. Well, we had fun, but gentlemen, I do thank you guys for joining us here. It's been a blast to me, and if you would actually give us a little bit more info about the Sinister Creature Con. When's the next time you guys are having an event?
We actually having our first one back since the pandemic in August, and we have a new location for that now because the original place was a vaccine center, so we couldn't get in there, which is totally fine, understandable. So we'll be back in Roseville, California this year, August 15th, a one-day show, which is on Sunday at the Rumbleton Center. Yeah, so tickets are on sale now. Pretty much all the guests are already announced at this point. So we might have some other ones that come in, but we have, some people from like the original It franchise. Tom Lee Wallace, who directed It as well in Halloween 3, I want to say. Gary Tagawa, Mortal Kombat guy. Bob Elmore for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, who was Leatherface. Then we also had B. Neil, which is a 3-time Oscar winner for practical makeup effects with Beetlejuice and Mrs. Doubtfire and all that good stuff. So yeah, there you go, right there. Then we also
Fine,
Panther. I mean, we have a little bit of everything. Some Star Wars this year. We're really excited about that. We haven't done any Star Wars, so we have some great people from the Star Wars franchise as well. So SinisterCreatureCon.com if you want to check out the information. And yeah, tickets are on sale now.
Alrighty. Well, once again, thank you guys for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. I've had fun. Any final questions, thoughts, concerns from you guys? No? You good? Okay.
Appreciate you guys having us on.
I've got one for him. But did you guys have fun?
Definitely, man.
Hey, tell me what.
Hey, Jimmy, don't worry. I'll see you tomorrow.
Where's your stuff?
I'll see you tomorrow, Jimmy, for sure.
All right. Well, this has been Snack and Flicks, episode 11. Yeah.
10.
This is 10? This is 10? Crap.
This is 10.
You know what? I'm just going to shut up. Thanks. We will catch you guys next week, and we will decide what we're going to talk about then. Before then. Something like that. Okay. We're out.